It's Norman Ellsworth here. Back to the online arbitrage sourcing using warehouses and stuff. Last week, well, let me get to who we are. Some of you probably don't know us, and I don't know why it's not shifting. There we go. Celia and I set this up, so we were teaching as a pair. She's off taking care of her vacation, getting some downtime, so I've got it from here. Last week we went over sourcing online arbitrage. We taught you how to build the building stage, the growing stage, and the scaling stage. Now we're going to go into some more deeper tips and tricks and what we do to maximize our profits by working with wholesalers, online companies, and we will grow your business. This week we will cover ways to scale your Amazon FBA business and share examples. First one is the social signals. A lot of people overlook this, and it's very helpful. It gets me a lot of sales. We can use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and all of them. So with the social signals on Facebook, I created a business fan page and add your items there. Also with the Facebook Marketplace. All you do is copy the URL. Let's use Amazon. Make sure it's your item. I didn't think to go into how to get your item. Hopefully you know how to do that. Or on eBay, same thing. Go to your site, click on it, bring up your URL with just the number. These are where you will find your signals on eBay. You got Pinterest, you got Twitter, and you got Facebook. All you have to do is click on it. It will automatically fill into Facebook or Twitter your product. We will get into the difference with Pinterest a little later, but this is what I always use now. Now, Amazon signals work good too. It's just with mine, I have to look a little further. It's always below the add to cart button. And you can share it to email somebody your products, promote it that way. And again, you got Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. We used to have Google Plus, but they eliminated that. Went into brand registry. If you're back all the way to building and scaling your business, you want to take advantage of the Amazon brand registry. You ask what it is. This is a way to keep other people from piggybacking on your site or on your item. I will allow you to go ahead and search it out and be able to understand how to do it on your own. And if you have questions, we can get into it later. Now, sign in to make a brand registry, fill out all the information. I always go to Seller Central Amazon. That way I am separating my regular Amazon account from my selling account. That way you can distinguish between the two and keep track of them. You want to enroll your brand, which, like if you have a private label product or a white label, maybe some of you are asking what the difference is. Private label means that you had the product designed your logo, everything put on the item. And then you put it out on Amazon for sale. When I do it, I usually instead of putting the UPC code on it, I just put the ESA number on it. That way, when it comes to me, I don't have to tag and bag. I just need to check the inventory, make sure it's in good shape. So this is what they're talking about with the brand registry. How do I jump backwards? Sorry, just looked up again. This is live. I make mistakes. Okay, back to white label. White label is like I got a company that is producing cakes, gluten-free items. I get contact with them and I get permission for them to put my information, my name on it, my logo, company logo. This way it's mine. And when I approach Amazon to have it brand registry, they will ask me all this information. And it's just like a private label product, but I didn't have to contact any outsourcing. It was with the established company. And then they put on my information and it became mine. And that's what Amazon wants to know. Now, this is one I ran across by accident, which is Ping Farm. We're still talking social signals. But you want to take the URL of your product. You're going to put it in the box when I get to it in a minute. Right here. There's two different sites. This one I use the rapid indexer. That's why I've got a circle around it at the top. That way you'll understand it. Then you put your URL in the site. I make a template. Whenever I sell one, I remove the template. If you forget to remove it, it's no big deal. It just means that people are going to come to a sold item we're unable to find. This will allow you to put out your items, products into the Google world URLs. And I get at least 577 sites for each URL. There's no way I could market to all that many. And I do see a big change by doing this. It bumps my sales. It gives me more exposure. It gives the store recognition. People start recognizing it by name. I have a YouTube video up. That's what I put the URL in it. If somebody wants to go and watch what I did, that would explain to you what to do and how I do it. Now you come to YouTube. You can make a YouTube video and put it in your listing on Amazon or eBay. This one, you're gonna ping it. You're not gonna use the rapid. Again, I circled the ping on it. Put your URL in there, and then go ahead and hit the button below and start pushing it out to the thousands of people. Because people see it, pops up on the YouTube, they click on it, off they go to purchase it from your Amazon, Bonanza, whichever item you're promoting at the time. Pinterest, it's a little different because I learned how to scale it. I see a lot of people that are putting their items up and the information what you need. But Pinterest, I've been told, likes to see the URL on the image. uh, just like here for our Q4 expo. I got the URL in my image. I'm promoting me too, but I'm also promoting our team, e-commerce sellers, Q4 Summit. So what you want to make sure is that you get your image with the URL, a clean URL. Yes, a difference from clean and a regular one. It depends on how you search it. It's after the question mark. You want everything before the question mark when you look at the top in the URL section. YouTube signals. They have signals just like Amazon, Bonanza, all of them do. This one you have to click on share to be able to see the URL or the social signals. So I got an arrow pointed to share, and then it pops up this way. You got multiple sites you can share it with. Right now we're talking about Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook. You can use Tumblr, and I think it's Reddit. I didn't put it in there. That's okay. You just click on the little button to the side and it will show you where the other sites are. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. Knowing how to use your Amazon selling app. This will help you massively in calculating buying decisions. I sit here at the house or the hospital, wherever I'm at. I'm looking at a magazine. I take out my seller app, turn it on, aim it at the picture. It brings it up in the seller app. If I can't find it, then I use the voice search. This one, I didn't notice that I could do it at the beginning. I think Parrish told me about it. But you click on add a product, and instead of clicking on the camera, you turn around, you click on the microphone, you speak it what you want, and it will bring it up. This one I was using R2D2 from the new movie, and it brought it up. Of course, I need to get required approval. I have Star Wars approval, but I didn't have this item added. It's a wonderful, terrible, can't talk, sorry. It's a good rank at 7,000. Did I jump something? No, okay. Now you come here. I clicked on a LOL surprise bubble doll. A lot of times people overlook this. You look at the top line is usually what we use for FBA to know what we can make. The next level that says Amazon, that's what Amazon is selling it at. But I have three different people selling here. I clicked on it, I actually found a whole lot more than three. So instead of selling it for $37.75, I can sell it all the way up to $66. This is very crucial during Q4. I'm constantly monitoring stuff and the prices, and I can raise and lower my price on the seller app. I can also set a minimum price and the maximum price. It will not allow me to go below it. I made a mistake, I think it was last year. I had a Disney teapot up, and I didn't set the minimum and maximum. I did have the maximum, I think. I didn't have the minimum set. I was selling it for $86. I dropped the minimum price down. I forgot to add the zero at the other end. So it actually sold for $8 and something instead of 89. These are just something you gotta stay on top of. Amazon has teaching. Take advantage of all the opportunities. Now with your Amazon app, you have to add the product, but you also have the top selling items, the movers and shakers, the hot trending items, and you can follow the rest. What you want to do, I clicked on the hot selling or hot new releases. Then it comes up and you get to pick what you want. I picked arts and crafts just as a demonstration. That will take you over to the items that are hot selling. Actually, this one's from the best sellers and the top ranking. And if you're doing this at home, you can turn around and right click on the image and it'll take it over to a Google search. Then you can find out who else is selling it. Just like we talked about last week, we have the price bling on our URL added to our Chrome bar. That also brings up, I think, anywhere from 1 to 15 different places I could purchase it. I can make a very educated price, educated decision there because I can see what I can purchase it for. And if I'm preparing for Q4, I know the price is going to go up, especially on these items because they're the best selling items. Amazon always has the low price. Amazon runs out. Like we told you last week, we also use the ESA inspector. It will tell you the price, what it sells for. You can also find out how much each person has in stock. A lot of times Amazon has, well, they change it. Now it's 666. Used to be 999. So I know what I'm competing against, when I should send in stock. But Q4 is crazy. It moves quickly. It's very fluid. You have the mover and shaker too. I went ahead and clicked on one of the Android cases. What you want to make sure that you do also is you have the favorite button there in blue. Click on it. That will keep it in your app. And then when you go to favorites, you click on it, it will bring up everything that you scanned and that you clicked. Mover and shaker is another one, which is overlooked, I say, by many. I like high price items, especially for eBay. On here, if I've got the money and the ROI is good, then I go ahead and grab them. One other thing I forgot to say up here, one more, here we go. Watch Amazon, especially this time of year, they have the sales. And if it's a low rank, like I was looking at some earlier today, it was only 12. So I also looked at the Keepa records. I seen where last year it was, I think I could purchase today at 20 some dollars. and it was selling for 150 last year. So I will buy from Amazon now, keep them until August, September. Might even hold it on a little later, but I will have it in there by the end of September, 1st of October, because that's when people start buying. November and December, it is crazy. You jump back down. So don't overlook this. You can open it up on your computer and see a whole bunch more items. I just didn't have the bandwidth, so I just picked out 4 of them. International selling on Amazon. Other e-com sites, we got Shopify, Bonanza, eBay, Amazon, Amazon Global, which is Mexico, Japan. Oh, I spelled Mexico wrong. Sorry. The UK. Then you've got Etsy, WooCommerce, OfferUp. I don't have them all, but when you're scaling your business, you want to take advantage of the other opportunities. Long-term storage, long-term business plan. You can tell where my mind is. I've got some items I got to deal with. Sorry about that. But when you're building your business for long-term, you can start out at the beginning with just using your social number. Eventually, you want to switch over to LLC, or me in Florida, it's S Corp. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a CPA. We really recommend that you go ahead, contact them on your own from the state you are selling from. This is very important to keep you out of trouble with the government. Make sure your taxes are paid. Your lawyer can give you the information that you need, what you should do, gives you the tips and tricks. The guy I have used to be worked for the Internal Revenue Service. Now he's on his own. So he has a load of information of what we can do, what we can't do, what will benefit us, and what not to do. So I highly recommend you getting with a corporate lawyer or CPA and talk to them. You know, I kind of think I ran through this stuff kind of quickly. Hey, yep, I did. Sorry. Supposed to have made it out to an hour, but I guess it's only going to be a half hour here. But this is eCom Sellers Mastermind Group. You can join it for free. I highly recommend it. It is an awesome place to get your questions answered. And we monitor and answer them 24/7. And you got the eCom Seller Academy. Join us. Like we have these trainings weekly. We have live support calls. We have coaching. We are a community. We want to help you make 100,000 a year. All of us group leaders have that knowledge. We have hit the mark. Some are very close to it, but join us with the eCom Q4 Summit. Register. I recommend the All Access Pass. Grab that and get your information. Join it for free. Or where'd I go? I'm trying to find it. There. Join us at the Q4 Summit. You get it the first day for free, that 24 hours. Then the next day, You only get to see what's going on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You will lose the first part. So I highly recommend that you buy the all access pass. It will be put in your back office. You can come back to the recordings anytime you want. It's a lifetime membership. I know when I go to them online or in person, I learn a lot. I write down stuff, but there's also stuff I miss. So I always want to come back and we'll rewatch it and pick up some stuff that I didn't get the first time through.
So, from a beneficial standpoint, since we are all getting ready for Q4 and we got this time reserved, is there a couple of recommendations you can share that you may have off the top of your head regarding preparing for Q4?
Yeah, start preparing now. My real thing, I do it right after Christmas because everything's 50% off. Like now, I was saying Amazon has certain items, they have them on sale. But you have the companies like Walmart, Target. I know all these companies, Best Buy has sales. They're calling it Christmas in July. Like me, next Friday, I have a tax-free week. So I hold off and make my decisions. Then I'll go in and purchase it. I don't have to pay the tax, so that increases my ROI. But I would recommend you get with your managers or the people that are putting out the inventory, make a relationship with them. I found that, especially when at Walmart, he has clearance items, and I don't always just sell clearance, but he has a lot of clearance stuff. And he's putting them on the shelves. At the time he was doing that, I was asking him about the prices and everything. He said he just has to get it out of there. I said, what if I want all of it? Can I get a better price? Well, if you want to take them now, yeah. So I got 25% off the price of the individual or the item. So these are ways that I benefit by making communication. I have a high expense or used to with the poly bags, the boxes, and tape. I still do, but that's okay. I have gone down to my outlet store. The guys in the back room are taking everything out of the poly bag and then putting them on the shelves. I made a relationship with the stock guys. They set aside 6 bags, and there's usually at least 2,000 to 3,000 poly bags in it. So I don't have to spend my money. It also increases my bottom line. Now you have the information, you have the opportunity. I would recommend you just take a chance, walk up, talk to somebody. If you see them out by the dumpster, could I have them? They're more than happy to let you take them. They don't have to deal with them. So on wholesale, find the items online. Again, I usually call and talk to the customer relations individual, and they can also give you added discounts. I think the last time I did it, I got a 15% off my entire order. So these are items or tips that you should be investigating. Really, the only thing they can say is no. And if I get a no, I accept it. Thank you. And then I go to the next company over and do it again. But I guess I've been blessed. I haven't had that problem. Was there anything else you were thinking of, Nicole?
Yeah, no. So, regarding like, so I will throw some tips out there, and then you're willing to jump in. Hopefully, we won't have any interruptions. Otherwise, we'll have to re-record this morning. But I think there's a couple of different strategies. One of them that I tell people all the time is if you have not, I talk about the building a real schedule, but this is the time of year where that schedule can actually be beneficial to you because of the fact that whatever you were doing in your e-commerce business before, so if you were working your e-commerce business only 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, then this is the time you want to start the process of doubling up on that effort. And initially, you're going to gradually build up to the things that you need to do. So right now, back to school, because it's July 30th, and there's a lot of states that have different back to school start times. But back to school is a great way to source and to get some inventory in. Um, and I know that like last weekend there was, or the weekend before last, it may have been, Big Lots had the Friends and Family, and so did the Dollar Tree. They had their discount as well. Then the next one, I try to tell people, when you're looking at the real schedule and you double up on that time, make sure that initially you're probably doing some research on sourcing or doing research on products that were selling heavily last year. So I would probably do that research in August to say, okay, last year, do some research using Keepa or whatever tool you like to use. What did some of the items that were at the Dollar Tree do? And start pulling some of those up because the Dollar Tree is notorious for selling some of the same stuff over and over again. So does the 99-cent store, and so does Walmart. They're notorious for that. So, I would, if you knew you sold it last year or you did some research on things that you had from last year, do research on when those sales for those particular items start to pick up. So, an example might be Christmas stockings. So, or wrapping paper. Look at and keep when some of the wrapping paper that you may have sold, when it might start picking up. And then you want to be strategically in front of that. So if the wrapping paper sales start to uptick around, let's say, the first week in October or the second week in October, then you know that you can go to dollartree.com, place an order for some things, have them shipped to your house, label them, and then forward them on to Amazon. So you're there, your inventory is checked in strategically before the uptick starts. If you weren't selling last year and this is your first year, then you can do some general research on some of the items that are going to be on Amazon. So you can type in Christmas, or you can type in Thanksgiving, you can type in Halloween, and start looking for some of those items. Know that the rank form is going to be ridiculously high right now, meaning something that sold last year might have a rank of 700,000 right now on Amazon, but we know traditionally that rank is not going to stay there. It may come down to 50,000 before Christmas is over. So do that research using Keepa, and that's what you're going to be doing in August, because August is 2 days away. Start that the first 2 or 3 weeks in August and just do a deep dive and research with those extra hours. If you were only doing business 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and you up it to 4, then use those 2 hours to do that deep research, and you can start being strategic about placing your orders. Then the next thing I tell people is, if you were needing capital for inventory, like your funds are low. So maybe you do need to place a big stocking order, wrapping paper order, whatever, gift bags order from the Dollar Tree, but you just don't have the capital. Right now is the time to start selling those things around your house. Getting rid of those items or reaching out to family members and friends, church members, buddies, people who have crap in their garage that they were going to donate anyway, and start taking some pictures of those items. Start getting those things listed on non-traditional, selling websites. Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Garage Sales, eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, even the OfferUp from 5 Mile. All of those different types of sites where you can list used stuff. And if you've got like a lot of clothes or whatever, some of that you can bundle. Start listing those things now because, again, parents are buying clothes right now. So if you're needing capital, parents are buying clothes for back to school. People are buying clothes for back to school for bundles. They do it for, sometimes they buy them in bulk for orphanages, or they buy them for children in need, or whatever the case may be. And then there's just parents that just want to save money and don't want to go to the store. So list those things now. That'll give you some capital. So as you go into Q4, you have some money in hand. So that would be something, this weekend that's coming up, I would take some time to start listing some of those things so you can begin to generate that cash flow that you need in your business. Then another thing that you might do is, if you've been tracking your business numbers, you know how much inventory you're typically sending in. Let's say you typically send in, 100 items a week into Amazon. But during Q4, you're going to have to ramp that up. So you want to begin the process of gradually increasing the number of items that you're sending into Amazon as you get that capital. So go from maybe you stage it every 2 weeks where you increase the number. So the first 2 weeks in August, you're still generating cash from other sites, from stuff you've got around the house, friends, family, whatever. And so maybe the second 2 weeks is when you actually have some level of cash flow. If you were traditionally sending 100 items in, then you gradually increase it to 125. Then the first 2 weeks in September, you go up to 150 every week. Then the second weeks in September, then you go up to 175. Then the first 2 weeks in November or October, you go up to 200. You're just gradually increasing the number of units that you're sending to Amazon by 50 in this example every 2 weeks. So then that way you have inventory, you're getting it in. So then by the second 2 weeks in October, you're sending in 225 items a week. And then the first 2 weeks in November, you're sending in 250 items a week. So it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to get that number of units. And you gradually increase it every 2 weeks by about 25 or whatever number you feel comfortable with. So then that way you get to a point where you've doubled your inventory that you're sending into Amazon. That's ultimately the goal, to go from sending your 100 items a week to, by the time you get to the first 2 weeks in November, which is golden money time, you're all the way up to 200 or 250 items every 2 weeks. So be strategic about that and just make it a gradual progression. I often recommend that you invest 100% of your inventory, the 100% of your profits for at least the first 30 to 60 days. And the reason I say that is because you're going to need cash flow if you didn't already have a plan in place, because you're starting late. If you had started back in April, then maybe you have a cash flow plan. But if you don't have a cash flow plan, you're kickstarting that cash flow plan now. So that way, I would just keep reinvesting everything you get for the second 2 weeks of August, all the way up until September, reinvest 100% of that. September to October, reinvest 100% of that. October to November, I would even reinvest 100% of that. And then I would stop at that point and then hold some cash back, because you're going to have returns towards the end of December, beginning of January, and you need to be able to have some level of money ready for Amazon to be able to, take that money back from you. And you work all that out over a period of time. Sometimes you get the money back anyway, sometimes you don't. But Amazon is going to err on the side of the customer first, so they're going to issue the refund before they even have the item returned, whatever the case may be. So you go through that process. Eventually, you may get the money back, maybe you don't. But at least you don't have a surprise where you have a negative amount in your bank, in your balance with Amazon. That's one thing. The second thing, because you're gradually increasing the amount of inventory you're sending in, you're priming the pump. You're priming the pump, priming the pump, priming the pump, so you're ready for the windfall on the other side of that. I refer to it as the wave of money that comes crashing down on you because it's nice. But you want to start the process now of preparing for that wave of money to arrive. And then from a sourcing standpoint, all of us doing RA, retail arbitrage, and doing OA, there's some traditional sites that we all look at. This is an opportunity for all of you to do some of the things, like I'll give Becky as an example. So Becky was in Texas, I can't remember when it was. I think it was last year. And she went to Buc-ee's, and Buc-ee's is a convenience store. It's a giant, it's not your traditional convenience store. Please do not let me belittle it like that. But Buc-ee's is ridiculous because it's like the size of 4 or 5 convenience stores in one. It's ridiculous. And they sell everything under the sun, but there are things that are unique to Texas. So when you're thinking about sourcing, everyone's going to be going to the Target, the Walmart, the Dollar Tree. I could go down the list. Best Buy, go through the clearance aisles, hit all of that. Walmart's always going to be a good source, always going to be a good source. But also start expanding. Every week, add some non-traditional store to your list prior to Q4. So as you're doing that, increasing your inventory every 2 weeks. So that first 2 weeks in August, you're keeping your number 100 items a week the first week and 100 the second week. Then you go into the third and fourth week, the second 2 weeks in August. Then you add one extra store that you don't typically go to for sourcing. And then same thing in September, the first 2 weeks in September, add an additional store or 2 stores, one each week, that you don't traditionally go to. Same thing in, as you go on, every single 2 weeks, add 2 new stores that you don't traditionally go to. And maybe you only visit those 2 stores those 2 weeks, but it's a great opportunity for you to get some local sourcing done, meaning things that are local to the area that you specifically live in, so that those people that are looking for something that they want to buy for, maybe it's a family member. Maybe they used to live in Texas, but now they live in Washington. So now that they live in Washington, they can't get Buc-ee's Golden Nuggets. They can't get them. You're going to put up that listing because you live in Texas, and they're going to buy your inventory, and they want to give it as a Christmas gift to that person that's in Washington State. So it's going to be the non-traditional stuff that people cannot get, that they're going to go online and they're going to look for as a surprise Christmas gift for someone, and it may be your item. So those are some quick sourcing tips and some quick Q4 strategies for you. I hope that is helpful. Norman, do you want to add anything to that?
Yes. Also with the back to school stuff, also remember that college will start in January, February. So I usually buy enough because I can get it at a discount now. Then I hold it over so I got stock to send in for January, February term. Also, with me in Florida, garage sales are awesome. I can usually pick stuff up dirt cheap. I pick up a lot of printer ink. A lot of people want to buy the brand name, like if you have a Huey Packard, they want that. And other people have their printer quit or broke and they just have extra ones around. Pick it up for 50 cents, turn around, make 25 off from it. So it's just a mindset that you have. How can I maximize my inventory, my funds, to maximize my profit? And Buc-ee's, it is awesome. They have them chocolate covered pecans I can't get anywhere. So I came back with a case of them in my suitcase. Eventually they went into Amazon, but like she was saying, they have different items in different states that you can't get. Hopefully Buc-ee's will get here, then I can make it a normal supply run. It's awesome. Yeah. These are simple things that you can do but you have to keep in mind you're building your business. You're trying to expand into other avenues. And with our Q4 summit coming up, you'll have the opportunity to learn. I think we'll have wholesale lists that you can get if you purchase your all access pass. But this is the time to build and scale.
This is definitely the time to build and scale. The last thing I would add to this list is so some people, because they have a full-time job, they actually strategically schedule vacation around this time. So one strategy that I know a lady did was she scheduled one vacation day every single week of October, well, the end of September for 2 weeks in September, the last 2 weeks, the entire month of October, and the first 2 weeks in November. Because she was working a full-time job, she knew she wasn't going to have the kind of time that she needed to double up her shipments or double up her efforts or whatever. So she took vacation time that she had and she used that vacation time to make money to work on her inventory. That's another strategy for those of you that have jobs. Maybe you take a half a day of vacation. So then that way you can, because the reality is, we're just going to be 100% honest. You literally can make 3 times whatever you're making at a job during Q4 in probably 2 weeks. Okay. So because
Exactly.
taking that extra time to taking that extra time to go ahead and take that PTO or take that vacation, whatever it happens to be, so that you can focus and invest time in your business, and then it will reward you on the back end. That strategy that Norman just gave you for back to school, that's great because we all know that back to school is going to go on clearance. We all know that. And so having some clearance for kids that are going back to school in college in January, that's a great strategy. And, if you have storage space, when summer goes on clearance, snap up some of those items. When back to school goes on clearance, when Halloween goes on clearance, even when Labor Day goes on clearance, a lot of the red, white, and blue, that's an opportunity for you to get some inventory because we're in an election year. So anything you can get that is red, white, and blue that doesn't say the Labor Day or something like that, if it is a pin, if it is a hat, if it is a bow, if it's something you can put on a chair or hang from a ceiling, some of those things are going to be weird. They'll continue to sell because of the fact that this is an election year. We're going into an election year, and red, white, and blue is going to sell. The last thing I would say is, coordinate with your family if you have a family. Coordinate with your family for your time to invest in your business. Maybe get your kids involved or get your family involved if you're by yourself. Somehow, think about strategic ways that you can get an extra helping hand to get your inventory into Amazon and to keep priming the pump on a regular basis. That's why I just harp over and over again about a regular schedule. That schedule is going to bless you 10 times over when you build it and then you're consistent with it. The key to being consistent is, if you can get 21 days, 27 days of consistently following your schedule, you build that habit. Then it just, at that point, should start to become second nature. Like you don't have to think about it and you don't have to force it so hard. Just think about all the doctor's appointments that you have, that you're going to have, and try to strategically schedule those around the time, not during the time, but around the time that you have to engage in business activity. And your main focus should be on income producing activities. Okay. And go wide. We always say go wide, don't go deep. That means don't go out and buy a pallet of Christmas stockings thinking that, oh, okay, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of money, and then you're mad when somebody jumps on it and tanks the price. Go wide, dabble in a little bit of everything, and that's the reason why I said go to a new store. Go to your regular stores, whatever your schedule is and whatever your routine is. So hit those up and do that. Try to hit some extra stores outside of your area. So if you like to stay in a 2-mile or 5-mile or 10-mile radius, try to expand that while you're doing sourcing, expand that by 15 miles or 20 miles, but also add one new unconventional store. So then that way it reduces the competition for you. So I hope that information is a blessing to you and your business. Get your notebooks out, Start building out your schedule. It's going to bless you 10 times over. This recording is going to be in the back office. You can go back and listen to it again. But I guarantee you, your numbers will double, triple, or quadruple this Q4 if you take that strategy that I just gave you about just gradually increasing the number, the amount of inventory that you're sending in. And if you don't have a starting number, start somewhere. Start with 50 and then increase it to 75, then increase it to 100, and just increase it by 25 or increase it by 50. So you eventually get to a much larger number than you have right now by the time you get to the first 2 weeks in November.
One small comment when she was mentioning your family. I'm here in Florida. My family is in Colorado, Illinois, Michigan, North Carolina. So if you find a hot selling item, but you can't find them in your area, I told you about Brick Suite last year. I can put in any zip code there is. And if I find them in Colorado, I call up my brother, can you go get these? And money will be in your PayPal account, whatever it is. Have him send them in for me. Because all I do is print out the SKU number on the regular sheets, send them to him along with the mailing address. He slaps it on the box and it goes to Amazon. I just maximize my time, my profits, and he helped me out in the process. So, consider your family if you need help or either hire somebody to help you.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, you guys. So we thank you for tonight, and we hope this is a blessing. Sit down this weekend and seriously map it out, map it out, map it out. It'll pay you back. Whatever your goal is financially, it'll pay you back. And remember that you have your 20-minute coaching session. If you have a plan and you want one of us to look over it, you can schedule that. It's available to you, and it's a free bonus for being a paid eCom Sellers Academy member. So take advantage of it.
It's well worth it.
There you go. All right, I'll talk with you all later. God bless.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for hanging with us.